Last October, not long after the Israeli army crossed into Gaza, satellite pictures started to pick up something strange. I'm not talking about the destruction, although that was already heartbreaking in its lethal scale. No, look carefully. There's a line, a new line, a road, built by the Israelis that cuts Gaza. No doubt about it. Gaza's landscape is being changed geographically and quite possibly politically too. I'm Darine Abu Gheda. This is Pinch Point, where geography and politics collide. The tiny coastal territory is about 41 kilometers long, about 10 wide. 365 square kilometers to be exact. At least it was before Israel's war on Gaza. Look at this, a new 6.5 kilometer road. Everything about it points to a chilling future, including its name, the Netzarim corridor. Netzarim was an Israeli settlement that was abandoned, then it was destroyed when Israel disengaged from Gaza in 2005. The road is no secret, far from it. Take a look at this report from a right-wing Israeli broadcaster, Channel 14.
בכל אורך הציר, מימין משמאל, מלפנים ומאחור, לא ראינו בית אחד שלם. נראה שכל הבניינים הם מכופפים, אולי אפילו מצדיעים לכוחות שעוברים כאן.
Along this corridor, Israeli military engineers are razing any buildings beside it to the ground.
פה במרחב מסדרון נצרים שיוצר חיץ בין מרחב צפון הרצועה שנמצא מצפון אלינו לבין המרחב המרכזי והדרומי שנמצא מדרום אלינו כדי להגן על המרחב, לפשוט לעבר מרחבים שיש בהם אויב, למנוע את המעבר מדרום לצפון ולשלוט עליה באופן מאוד מאוד מדויק.
That was back in February. Today, the road has been fortified here and here and here with observation towers built along its route. Adding to the sense of permanence, the corridor's even been given an Israeli road number, Highway 749. That hardly suggests the road is meant to be temporary or that the Israelis are going anywhere anytime soon. Ask anyone living in the occupied West Bank how Israel's roads have divided Palestinian communities. Now transfer these scenes to Gaza. Palestinians living south of the Netzarim corridor will now find it very difficult to cross to the north. Life for people with relatives in Rafah and Gaza City will be disrupted.
It's about fragmenting the territory, disrupting the flow of Palestinians, being able to deploy its troops, and potentially, especially in this instance, preventing the return of Palestinians that have been displaced by this war from the north from returning to the north.
On the ground, this is what that means. Al-Azhar University was next to the Netzarim corridor. It was bombed in November while the Israelis were bulldozing anything that lay 300 meters on either side of the road. It went along with countless homes. It's almost impossible to say exactly how many. Not so elsewhere though. Work done by the United Nations on the new enlarged buffer zone between Israel and Gaza suggests that out of 4,042 buildings, 3,033 were destroyed between October and March. Thousands of families now homeless. That's on top of the hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses destroyed by Israeli military attacks. And here's our latest satellite picture. Yes, the buffer zone is getting even bigger. Buildings aren't the only thing Palestinians in Gaza are losing. Our digital investigations team Sanad estimates that the extension of the Israeli buffer zone alone has shrunk Gaza by more than 23%. You can subtract more for the Netzarim corridor. Okay, let's take a breath, because it's hard even with videos and maps to take in the full scale of what's happening here. The UN has done the sums. It says 70% of Gaza's entire housing stock has been damaged or destroyed since October. 1.5 million people have been displaced, and that was before the attack on Rafah in May. And the Israelis don't seem to be stopping there. Sanad says another road is being built from the border with Israel to Khan Yunis. And like the Netzarim corridor, it isn't just a road. Buildings within hundreds of meters on either side are being leveled. Is Gaza being cut into three? Our investigators believe checkpoints are being built to manage or disrupt the movement of Palestinians. This is a new road in the south that's being used by the Israelis for their assault on Rafah. Turning it into another corridor, building more checkpoints would not be difficult. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is on record as saying Israel doesn't plan to conquer, occupy, or govern Gaza. Yet the Israeli occupation continues, and an increasing number of Palestinian families are homeless, starving, and in mourning. And roads like the Netzarim corridor will ensure Israel remains very much in control.